This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by our friends over at Ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery, as well as an option for the same for folks living in Portland, Oregon. And EaseWellness.com has you covered for professionally curated hemp-derived CBD products that show up in your mailbox in just 4 to 6 business days in 41 U.S. states. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Tuesday, April 30th, 2019, and you're tuned in to episode 715 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. Deb Borchard over at Green Market Report leads off our news today with a story about an announcement just made by Canadian marijuana giant Canopy Growth that it has signed a deal for a 48-acre, 300,000 square foot facility in New York State in which it will process hemp for the consumer market. Canopy will begin construction on the inner workings of its new space later this summer, with design work to spool up immediately. The company said that it is also working to secure farmland in New York to grow industrial hemp. The new facility, once fully built out, will be capable of processing CBD and other cannabinoids from raw industrial hemp flower. This is a tip of the spear type story. As I've said before, the Canadians are coming with money and jobs. Yesterday, the Oregon State Senate voted to freeze the release of new marijuana cultivation licenses. Oregon senators voted 18-10 in favor of the proposed bill, which would allow for current license holders to renew their licenses, but no additional new growers would be allowed. The bill now heads over to the House for consideration there. The Associated Press is reporting that an earlier measure to limit cultivation licenses was defeated because of concerns about interfering with the free market, but that this latest measure is more limited and has gained some votes over that previous attempt. Regular listeners should well remember that Oregon is currently awash in a glut of excess legal marijuana, driven by the large number of cultivators in the state and those farmers' inability to export their product out of state. On Friday, judges in Baltimore, Maryland shot down an attempt by the city's state's attorney, Marilyn Mosby, to throw out thousands of low-level marijuana-related crimes, saying that state's attorney Mosby had failed to meet the legal requirements of the particular order she sought, tossing out the cannabis charges. For one, the judge ruled that Mosby hadn't adequately demonstrated how the marijuana charges were negatively affecting the people whose records they burdened, pointing out that Mosby had, in fact, once called for city police to crack down harder on drug crimes. She was also found to have a conflict of interest in that the legal order she wanted to use was typically filed against the state, which she is oath-bound to defend. So, in short, it's kind of complicated. Open this one up for the full dive in. As always, we have all the news we cover linked to on our website over at mjtodaydaily.com. Those are our top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz out on headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, Ease.com, California's top one-stop website for legal marijuana delivery, as well as an option for the same for folks living in the Portland, Oregon area. Ease only partners up with the top dispensaries in their active areas, so you know you're in for a great customer experience. Ease has just about every legal form of marijuana allowed up for order, so you'll find something that tickles your fancy no matter if you like old school flower, concentrates, edibles, topicals, tinctures, balms, or sprays. And not only does Ease have all kinds of legal cannabis product types, but they also nicely cover the full spectrum of price points. So you can pick up $15 eighths of Old Pal or drop some more money on higher shelf picks like the $49 eighths from 777 and Lemon Tree or the $60 eighths from Wonder Brett. You'll find all kinds of choices over at ease.com and easewellness.com, where you can get professionally curated hemp-derived CBD in the mail in just 4 to 6 business days. Find out for yourself just how easy Ease makes legal marijuana over at ease.com and easewellness.com, with ease spelled E-A-Z-E. All right, time for the blitz. Colorado lawmakers passed a bill that will open up the state's legal marijuana industry to outside investors for the very first time. House Bill 19-1090 would repeal the current ban on out-of-state investors, freeing up both people and corporations to buy into Colorado cannabis companies. This has been a huge constraint on mile-high state marijuana businesses as the ban makes it more difficult to raise money and to sell company assets. Besides allowing for outside investors, the bill would also allow publicly traded companies to hold marijuana business licenses. This is particularly good news for the nation's multi-state cannabis operators. The bill has been cleared by both the Colorado House and Senate and now awaits the consideration of Governor Jared Polis, who has said he intends to sign it. In Pennsylvania yesterday, lawmakers held a joint session of House and Senate members to discuss the merits of adult use marijuana legalization. Leading off the list of people testifying was Pennsylvania's Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman, who has been traveling around his state in recent weeks holding dozens of public meetings to hear what constituents think about the issue. Lieutenant Governor Fetterman testified that out of 50 meetings he's held, he's heard from just 2 communities opposed to legalization. There's a lot of pending legislative action on adult use legalization in Pennsylvania, with its medical market doing quite well a year or so after being launched. Kyle Yeager over at Marijuana Moment has a comprehensive piece on this worthy of a click over. Speaking of stories by Kyle worth a click over, we have another marijuana moment, this time jumping over to Connecticut, where yesterday state lawmakers deliberated a number of adult use marijuana-related proposed bills. One measure would, if passed, allocate a portion of legal marijuana tax revenue to pay for community reinvestment projects in communities that have historically been hit the worst with the effects of the war on cannabis. Another would set the state's sales tax on legal marijuana, while yet another would actually legalize adult use cannabis. Another good one to pop over to. A new survey out of Texas shows the majority of those polled are in favor of legalizing either adult use marijuana or medical cannabis. The survey was conducted by Emerson College and found that 38% of Texas voters are in favor of legalizing all forms of marijuana, while 35% said they are comfortable with legalizing medical cannabis. Just 14% of those polled thought that keeping marijuana illegal was the best option. The numbers fall just as you'd expect when broken down by political affiliation, with just 22% of Republicans favoring adult use legalization versus 54% of Democrats. The poll has a margin of error of plus or minus 5.3%. The state of Missouri will issue marijuana business licenses later this year and just announced details for how many and by when applicants need to get their application in by. To start, Missouri will give out 60 cultivation licenses, 86 for processing, and 192 for medical marijuana dispensaries. Applications will be made available on June 4th, with the window to apply coming later in August. Swing over to Marijuana Business Daily for a link to learn more. Matt Lamers over at Marijuana Business Daily has a good chart up showing the arc of the first 5 months of sales in the Canadian province of Ontario. And I do mean arc, as sales grew for the first 3 months of nationwide adult use before starting to drop off in January and February. There are a number of factors to blame for those declining sales, including a slow rollout of licensed shops and problems with the province's online ordering system. Lots of lessons to learn in this one. And finally for today, we swing back down to Texas, where yesterday lawmakers in the state House voted 98-43 in favor of a bill to decriminalize the possession of small amounts of marijuana. The bill, which now heads to the Senate for consideration there, would replace criminal penalties with fines for people getting caught with an ounce or less of cannabis. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again tomorrow morning with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our Twitter account at mjtodaydaily and visit our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, Ease, and to all of our awesome Patreon listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks of the Patreon listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in and starting your day with marijuana today.
One take, Shay. One take.